Welcome to Fail Smarter, the show where I, Leander Seidel, interview marketeers about their most interesting or most devastating marketing fails that they have had in their career so far. Today, I am joined by Kaloyan Dimitrov, a good friend of mine who I'm happy to have here. First of all, Kaloyan, can you tell us a little bit about what do you do and what is your expertise in marketing?
Hi, Leander, and thanks for having me on your podcast. All right, so my name is Kaloyan Dimitrov. I'm the SEO manager of EnhanCV.com. This is a website for building your CV. It's an online CV builder. The CV you built looks different and can stand out among the crowd of all the other applicants. My job there is to maintain the website, to create new pages, basically all around SEO. I also have a team of like one together with me. We are just two people, and we also count on a lot of freelancers and external vendors for help. We are keeping it lean, and we are kind of like a startup, but the days after it. I mean, we are no longer like a startup. We are already a profitable company.
And it is one of the best CV solutions. I have to say, I did my own CV there when I was hunting for jobs many, many years ago, and it got me great results. So it really is, in my opinion, the best CV program in the web. That's a free product placement right here.
Yeah, thanks.
So, to get into it, can you tell me about the most interesting fail of your marketing career so far?
All right, I will go with something more recent. The thing is that and to open the bracket first, I believe that everyone should have at least one fail, maybe even one fail per year, because with fails, you're going to learn how to actually be more successful. If you're not failing, then you're not taking a lot of risks, which is also a fail on its own. My fail that I remember distinctly, and it actually cost us dollars in the bank, was that actually failed to check and not. Well, okay, let's start from the beginning. We are doing a lot of A/B experiments, right? A/B testing, and we are testing different theories for how a specific landing page should look like, what should be first, second, third in terms of structure, content, and so on. So basically, how we did it in the past was that we were making a carbon copy of each pages, and we call them URL-A, URL-B, URL-C, and so on. We are keeping it like 2-3 experiments maximum. And we had one main URL, which was the actual one that was so far the canonical one. And each of the other versions was pointing also with a canonical link to the main URL. All right, so it's still kind of risky, but with the canonical properly set up and things like that, we never had any problems regarding SEO. And the new pages that we were making with the slightly different structure and content didn't influence the SEO rankings of the main URL. All right, if you're with me so far, that's how we were doing our old A/B testing experiments like a couple of years ago. What happened was that we forgot to add the canonical link once on one of the many tests that we did. And we also forgot to do it for one of the super important landing pages on our website that was bringing, at the time, after the homepage, the most conversions to our website. Conversions meaning people who are actually subscribing. So we didn't put the canonical. The first few days, the new page started ranking. We were still in the top 5 results. We noticed that the first page was the new page was starting ranking. And when we noticed it, we saw that it also went down to about 30th or 40th spot in Google. Yeah. So what happened then? We fixed the canonicals. We removed the A/B testing, and it took it almost a year to recover the old spot. So this page was bringing so much conversions, and then it was still bringing a lot, but not organically, like from people who are coming from other sources, referrals, um, or through the website itself. So what happened was basically that a failed A/B testing experiment, and it was super risky. when you were doing it in this way with with different URL versions.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
just for me to understand it better, I think it's super interesting because it's such a deep SEO and kind of technical combination of topics kind
Yeah.
of intersecting here. So, just to think about it, basically, would you say what went wrong was that the A B test took too much of a risk, like that the B variant was too risky compared to the A variant? Or would you say that the technical setup was the core problem, that kind of the B variant kind of pushed away the A variant from the ranking, and that was the more core mistake?
The core mistake was the second one, the technical stuff. But it also, let's say that the B version, if it was closer to the main variant and only just a couple of things were changed on the page, probably wouldn't have lost the ranking. Uh, but the technical implementation was pretty wrong. So the canonicals were not pointing to the right URL. And we also learned some lessons in how to do those, and actually how to not actually do this kind of A/B testing anymore. And we actually changed the methodology in which we're testing changes on landing pages in terms of SEO, if there would be an SEO risk. Because you can do it in several ways. You can do it this way, the risky way, with setting up additional URLs and pointing canonicals to the one that you have. Or you could actually do a continuous A/B testing. In this way, you take a moment in time when you make the change on the page, and the new page has slightly new content, and you're tracking several weeks before that change and several weeks after. The minus is that you cannot split the traffic with the developer's help. You cannot push
Mhm.
this amount of users to the new page and to the old at the same time. You have to track traffic before and after that moment in time when you actually publish the A/B test.
Mhm.
That's the minus, the negative. But the positive is that you are not risking so much in terms of mixing of variants of the page and completely new page appearing and so on,
And kind of
or
the risk
having
of
duplicate content. Yeah, yeah,
and kind of the risk of ranking against each other is like not there, that you don't have two pages kind of trying to outrank each other. I will say
exactly.
one experience I have from this type of A/B testing in a more sequenced way, where you have 2 weeks of variant A and 2 weeks of variant B, is when the business is very seasonal, then it gets a little bit tricky. Like, for example, in the
Yeah,
travel business, it's very hard to do these kind of time-based A/B tests, because you might have a completely different weather in the first 2 weeks and in the second 2 weeks, and then the A/B test results would again be a little bit muddled. But those are, I guess, the trade-offs we have to take. So,
yeah.
kind of condensing it down to the learnings that you do differently now. So, I think one thing is, of course, thinking about what type of risk to take on an A/B test, and then the other one is the technical approach. So, which
Yeah.
approach are you taking now?
Right now, we are mostly doing the second version, in which we are doing continuous A/B testing, and also we're very much more careful about what we are actually testing. There are a few things that you can do on your page in terms of tests that are actually going to be bringing you some impact. At least 5% um, of your traffic may go up or down, and you can learn stuff. These include changes to the meta title, adding schema.org, or other SEO stuff like this. But basically, changing the whole structure, changing content, a lot of paragraphs, and so on. It's more risky and should be done continuously and not simultaneous two different versions of URLs. So yeah, that's what we are doing at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I think that's truly wonderful and insightful, and a great deep expertise that you have there. I want to ask you a final question just because maybe some listeners might be very curious about this in depth knowledge that you have on SEO. What currently would you say is like your best source to stay up to date with SEO, or like where do you currently get the like which type of communities or websites do you follow for the best like SEO type of knowledge?
All right, Leandro. So something that is about A/B testing and is going to help you a lot if you want to go through this maze, let's say in SEO, is that you can actually get a tool like SEOtesting.com. So this is one of my favorite tools for actually creating SEO tests because it basically puts your Search Console data on like steroids, and it's pretty cool. You can check it out, and basically it's also not so expensive, but it's best for businesses, I would say, um, and like not so much like freelancers. Somebody who already has some kind of income. It's like I think if I remember $30 per month or something like that.
Mhm.
And the other one, the other resource for reading and different kind of A/B testing that you can actually do is Search Pilot's case studies. So you can go to that website and go to their case study section and check. And I think they have at least 50 different A/B tests, even more now, maybe about all kinds of different things and all kinds of businesses, ranging from e-commerce, travel, and so on. How you can do and what kind of testing you can do on pages, which are actually safe to do. Uh, but in general, when it comes to SEO, where I get my knowledge, I read a lot of sources, such as I stay up to date with news from Search Engine Journal, SEO Roundtable, and
Mhm.
websites like this, where I get all the recent updates. On LinkedIn, I follow quite a lot of SEO people, and I managed also to stay up to date with the latest developments. Um, it's easy on LinkedIn. I mean, if you follow a couple of people, then after a while you're going to get what they're following, and so
Mhm.
on. You can build your own network this way of people you can follow, and also I'm part of a few communities online. One of them is paid. It's Traffic Think Tank, but it's pretty good to once you are already uh, uh, a developed business, or you're working for somebody who uh, has a developed business, you can actually ask them to pay your membership. That's how it usually works.
Mhm.
In that Slack, it's a Slack community. Another one which is actually free, it's called SuperPath. It's more about content marketing, but there's also a lot of SEO stuff there as well, and channels where you can ask your questions freely. So yeah, LinkedIn, Slack communities, search engine news websites, and the ones that I mentioned specifically about A/B testing.
Mhm.
There's a lot of specific resources about everything around SEO. You just have to go out there and start somewhere, and you're going to go deeper into the rabbit hole as you go.
Amazing. And I think, yeah, you have a very deep expertise already. And I think it's very interesting times for SEO, especially in these years with AI, etc. So it will be interesting to see what happens in the next few months and years. For today, I really want to thank you for sharing this expertise with us. And I will put your contact details into the description of this episode. So if anybody wants to connect with Kaloyan about his SEO perspectives, then definitely give him a connection request on LinkedIn or wherever else. And yeah, thank you for joining us for this fail and have a great and successful week full of failures.